everyone, this is teacher Karen, and today we're going to see past models and phrasal models of obligation. I hope this video um, serve your purpose of understanding better this topic, so please pay attention.
So we are going to start with past models and phrasal models of obligation. And the first model that we're going to see today is should have. And should have is used to express the idea that something was desirable or needed, but it didn't take place. Here we have one example of a desirable action that says, I should have called you yesterday, but I forgot. Now, when something took place but it wasn't desirable, then you use the negative of should, which is shouldn't, and you can say you shouldn't have drunk so much. Now you feel terrible. And please notice that after should have, we use the past participle. So always remember that should have suggests that the action was advisable but wasn't done, while should not have suggests that the action was not advisable but it was done. Now, to express a strong obligation or a lack of obligation, we can use had to or didn't have to. For example, we had to attend English class 4 times a week before coronavirus, and we didn't have to participate in video conference for our English class, which expresses that there was no need, no obligation. So remember that had to describes a strong obligation in the past and suggests there was no choice, and didn't have to means that there was no obligation to do the action. The next model that we're going to use or see is was supposed to or were supposed to. In here we have two examples, which is I thought being in love was supposed to make you happy. And then the friend says it wasn't supposed to make you dumb. So remember that depending on the subject, where you're going to use was or were, not supposed to, which suggests an expectation that the action was required or prohibited. To express necessity or the lack of necessity, you can use needed to or didn't need to. So here we have the example, I was thirsty. So what's the need? I needed to drink some water. But I didn't need to eat something because you're not hungry, you're thirsty, right? So remember, that needed to or didn't need to suggests that the action was or wasn't necessary, but there was a choice about doing it or not. Also remember that after the phrasal models or models was were supposed to, had to, didn't have to, and needed to, you use the base form of the verb. Now, if you're going to use should have, you use the past participle. Let's practice. We have part of the sentence, we have the verb we're going to use in brackets, but we need to use the models we just learned. So here we have, we book our tickets 2 months in advance because it was peak time. Think about it, what would you use? Exactly. We had to book our tickets 2 months in advance because it was peak time. It was a strong obligation because it's very probable that if they hadn't booked the tickets with 2 months in advance, maybe they wouldn't have gotten. The next sentence says, we find a taxi at the airport because the hotel sent a minibus to pick us up. Think about the answer. Exactly. We didn't have to find a taxi at the airport because the hotel sent a minibus to pick us up. There was no need. They didn't need a taxi. The weather was very hot the whole time. We go a month later when it's cooler. We should have gone a month later when it was cooler. They went there um, when it was very hot, but it was advisable to go a month later. The next one, the food was excellent and we paid for anything because all meals were included. Exactly, we didn't have to pay for anything because all meals were included. There's no need to pay. We nearly missed the airport bus coming back. We spent so long in the shopping center. We nearly missed the airport bus coming back. We shouldn't have spent so long in the shopping center. Maybe there was a very high probability that they could have missed the bus to the airport to go back. Fortunately, they didn't miss it, but it was not an advisable action to spend so long in the shopping center.